All right, good cold because it's only in the low 50s and there's a pretty stiff north wind, but sunny Thursday. No, this isn't all open because shit's broke. It's because we're done. I got the hose getting ready to turn it on and start blowing it all off. I don't think I'm gonna wash it. I mean, a lot of that dusty shit will just blow off. I don't like washing things if I don't have to. Washing means wet, means rust. Anyways, so we're done with beans, obviously. I just said we just finished. Well, the last 2 hours have been nothing but go like mad. Canadian driver called me when we were in the field, said I'd be there in about 45 minutes. We just got back. Propane truck was here because we're going to start corn tomorrow. Filling with propane. Got the last truck unloaded. Tractor trailer showed up, was waiting. He didn't have to wait very long, a couple minutes. But anyways, I got him loaded. He's on his way back to Canada. Imagine that, beans going to Canada. Yeah, and beans and corn were both up like 4 or 5 cents today. China! Yeah. Should have left them in the field, huh, Karen Carroll? But anyways, that's now draining. For you non-farmers that are new, for you non-farmers that have been with me, you know the process I'm doing right now. As you can see, it says, well, let me turn the light on. It says wet moisture 3%. That's because it's down below that sensor now. Dry moisture coming out 13.1. Because we are draining the dryer from top to bottom and just letting it roll through the leg into the bin now. Because I have to get that completely drained. Which takes about an hour, roughly, to drain that. So it's a little after 4 now. Basically in the next couple hours I got to get that done. I'd like to get that cleaned off so in the morning when I get back from the chiropractor, Barb and I can pull the combine out, can put that away. If I'm talking like really fast, because I'm still like in that same mode, I need to slow down that I was for the last 2 hours trying to get everything done. I gotta get the combine all switched over, you know, the rotor to low gear instead of high range, because you know, in corn we only run like 350 to 600 depending on the moisture of the corn. And who's texting me? Jeff. Yep, Jeff was just texting me because he says the truck driver told him that the you know, the places where they are taking their crops and stuff are only about a third full right now compared to what they were last year. But record crops, USDA. And by the way, Karen Carroll, why corn and beans are up? Record crop here. And a record soybean crop in Argentina. And China not buying our soybeans. Corn and beans are still up. I'm getting more for my beans right now than I got last year at this time. Getting more for my corn right now than I did last year at this time. I don't know, it's a mystery. Oh, well, it's not a mystery. USDA is just another, you know, hurry up, President Trump, and get the wars all settled and everything else, and then start looking at the USDA for us, please. Because they're half the reason why our prices suck. But anyways, I don't know what Jeff's latest text was. The first one was about the trucks. That useless USDA and Chip, whoever the F, are the most useless shitbags next to, I won't say who, a couple of people on YouTube. I'm gonna be nice for that one, Jeff. But, oh, so anyways, that's what the plan is. This, I'll be able to tell because it'll slow down the tink, tink, tink that I hear on the bin as it's unloading beans. So that's how I'll know this is down to the bottom while I'm over there. I might not hear it while I'm running the air compressor, but anyways, I'm turning you off. Might not turn you back on for the rest of today. Might turn you on tomorrow when we start into the cornfield. Alright, I decided to turn you back on. I got it all blown off. Oh shit, I forgot to close that one down there. So it's all clean in there. I mean, all the dust and everything is off. Is there some of the black dust, you know, I mean the fine dust that would blow off? Is there some of that black stuff? Yeah. But you know, last year there was mud on it, which is why I washed it off completely. But there's no mud on it because we've been drier than a popcorn fart. Can't believe some of you haven't heard that statement before, or you haven't heard it in a long time. All right, I gotta close this, which takes a little reefing here. When it's on the head cart, I'm gonna have to turn you off and then turn you back on. Hang on. There, when it's on the head cart and it's sprung up like that, it doesn't fit there very good. So I have to pull that out, push that in, get a little physical with it. Yeah, I got some beaners on the ground here. And yes, you're gonna see a few beaners down in there, because with the air gun, you could chase beaners all day back and forth. And you're not gonna get them all out of there. But I did notice I've got a few of my skid plates that we're probably gonna have to change for next year, which I've got some. I don't see too many. That one there looks like the rivet pulled out in the back, but the skid plate itself ain't bad. Might just need a new rivet. I did notice the end one here is getting a little whooped. I don't have that one, so I'm gonna have to order that one for next year. And I noticed my very end knife. You can't see it because it's in the guard, but it's got a small chunk out of it. That's going to require pulling it out a little to replace that one, because those end ones are a son of a bitch. So, but other than that, other than the beans sucking, bean harvest went pretty good because it was so dry. Oh, you know, I just thought of something. Chasing the little beaners around. Hey, you know what I meant. So if you come up with something else, that's on you. Yeah. You know what I meant. So I can still hear ting, 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 so the dryer is not quite empty. So I still got to get that done. Yeah, move this. So in the morning we can get that out and then put this in the back of the shop where it's gonna go for winter in the cold storage part. So I still got to do everything to this. I'm just gonna show you quick. I'm not gonna do it because I can't hold the camera and do it, but I gotta take this shield off. There's a belt in here. I gotta change the speed of the belt because we're now going to corn. I gotta loosen the bolt on this side and the other side to pull the chopper knives back because we don't want them engaged. We don't chop corn stalks because you're not running corn stalks through you're just running, you know, husks and shit like that. So that's, the spinners will do that, which means I got to adjust that down to a lower. I got to decide which one I want to be in, but it makes, and this is dark, you may not be able to see it, but there's a shield up there that'll come down so that the shit hits the shield and drops down onto the spinners. And I got to open the side shield, and kind of up there to the right of the fan is where your lever is for changing from high range to low range. Because like I said, corn, we only run whatever, 300 to 600. Beans we're running, depending on the beans, I'm usually in the 900s, and I'm hearing the ticking slowing down, so I might as well go do that. Turn that off, change everything on the computer over to corn, change all my levers on the leg to the corn bin. Trying to decide tomorrow if I'm going to batch dry the whole thing on the first one, which means take the floors out inside rather than do the thing like those of you who have been with me, you've seen in the past. I got the pipe that runs out the back side of the top of the bean bin. We park a truck under it, let the corn go into the truck till it gets down to the moisture we want, and then bring that truck back, dump it back into the weapon. I haven't decided. So now I'm definitely not picking you back up till tomorrow. So I'm going to call this a one more thing for today, because there'll be a lot more video to come tomorrow. But so I got everything done. I got to turn that fan off shortly. It's going to be dark here another, I don't know, 45 minutes, whatever. Go to the house, shower, eat supper, whatever. But I've been sitting here in the chair, taking a breather, and going through comments from the video that came out this morning, because holy shit, I'm, you know, so far behind. That's what I do at night. Read comments and try and get back to all of you, and look through my 100 emails a day. And you 99% of you Canadians that are, you know, cool. You 1% of Canadians that want to send me shit in an email all the time. 50-minute YouTube video you should watch about how much better Canada is than the United States. Yeah, you get put in the trash before I even
I know who you are now, so you get put in the trash. But anyways, I was going through the comments, and one person just said something that reminded me of the last field we just did, the small field over here 2-3 miles west of me. I had to figure out which way was east and west standing here. It went like 21 bushel to the acre. This person made a comment about a 60-year-old farmer that was talking to one of the mainstream media, interviewing them because, you know, the media wants to get their farmers are all going bankrupt bullshit in because it's Trump's fault. You know, and this person was crying about how bad it is and everything. Look, I'm not saying it's great. I just told this person in the comment, farming kind of sucks right now with our costs the way they are. But I'm also not going to lie to people like I've told you and tell you that, oh, my input costs were 50% higher this year, because they weren't. Now that 21 bushel to the acre field that I just did, I lost my ass on that field. Lost my ass. I mean, that did not remotely cover the rent for the field and the cost that to put it in. So our final yield on beans this year is going to be, I'm guessing 39 to 40 bushel, about 15 bushel below normal. Not great, but the input cost thing needs to be looked at. That's the thing that I say, because like I said earlier in this video, when I first started filming, if our price does go up a couple bucks a bushel, so does our input cost, because somebody wants to take that back out of our pocket. When I lose my ass on a field like that one, nobody's putting anything in my pocket other than maybe the government when they want to hand out a subsidy. And like I said in the last video, I'll let them put it in my pocket until somebody figures out why we're getting screwed. And no, it ain't the tariffs, and no, it ain't China, when our prices are literally higher. Corn and beans were both up like 4 or 5 cents today during a record crop here and a record crop in Argentina, like I said before. So, you know, if I keep repeating that, I'm just trying to get the point across to the, you know, the dipshits that, why is it a record? Tell me why, tell me why prices are up compared to last year. Shouldn't prices be way down there, Carol? I'm just saying, you'll come up with a good one, I'm sure. But all right, now I'll see you tomorrow. Well, I keep lying to you. Here's the second more thing for today, because I was sitting there in my chair. I need to go to the house. Reading through the comments. God, there's a lot of them, so I'll try to get to the rest of them tonight. And our good buddy, Dan Koopman, Koopy Poopy, you remember him from previous videos. I wouldn't believe you that them beans are going to Canada unless I followed the truck there. Well, here we go. My phone number's on here, so hang on. I got to do something to cover that up. Oh, something skinny to cover up where my phone number is. All right, there. There's the trucking company, Matisse Farms and Trucking, consignee Bungie, 515 Victoria Ave, North Hamilton, Ontario. There's the date, October. There's my name. There's my signature. I'll move this down a little so it doesn't show my phone number. 1TL soybeans, that means trailer, genius, Koopy Poopy. Approximately 35 metric tons. Yeah, I actually filmed this once before and then realized I just showed my phone number. Yeah, no, that's not happening. So, I don't know what else you want there, Koopy Poopy. The fucking things are going to Canada. That's 2 out of 3 loads. They still got 1 more to get. Well, it's Friday morning. Seems we're not that far from the home farm. Yeah, I didn't put it on the header card. I got Barb up in front of me. That person that just went through wanted to turn down this road, but they went down that one instead.
Truck and a trailer coming.
Oh, truck and a trailer coming. I guess I gotta stop. I gotta put the camera down. Alright, we got everything down here. We got this little corner done off so that we could get trucks in here and Barb in here, and I'm not completely satisfied with my settings yet, but we're close. So I got a little too much cob, but it's hard to do it when you're doing short little runs like this. So we'll get it better. All right, I'm on my 3rd and final headland pass going this way. I mean, it's running 20%, 20.2 right now. Right now we're in some corn that's running in the 180s and 190s. Field average is 173, which for all the dinking around, opening up and whatnot, corn is better than I thought it was going to be. I got the sample looking pretty damn good and clean. You can tell by the monitor we ain't getting much for loss. And I can tell by the eye getting out the half a dozen times that I got out to check things. So I think we're ready to actually roll. You probably can't see the sample anyhow because now it's above the window so it's dark, but yeah, looking good so far. Alright, headlamps are off both ends. Doing a calibration to make sure that it is what it says it's doing. So far it's been running between 20.5 and 21%. That I'll have to check at home when we take trucks. I didn't bring a tester with me. Just getting the headlamps off, the field said it was averaging 183. So it's, oh that's right, I forgot. I can go back to my normal screen while it's calibrating. So let's do that. Right now it's running right around 200 bushel, 195, 190, 186, 187, 194. Yes, for you non-farmers, that thing's just bouncing all the time because you're putting a lot of corn through it. 22% right now, which for those that'll ask, hey, the year we've had, corn is not drying down that fast, so anything below 25, we're going to start, because after today and tomorrow, they show Sunday, sometime Sunday, starting to rain, and then rain for like the next 5 days. So, and it's the 3rd week of October. We're not going to get corn to dry down like some of you poor bastards in the Midwest that I've heard are doing 12% corn. That's crazy. I'm going back to the calibration page. Yes, that's crazy that your corn's down to 12%. But you can see spots where it looks drier, so it's going to be drier. That's just the year we're having. So that's what we're dealing with. But I'll turn you back on when Barb and I are done calibrating and tell you how we did. Alright, we got within 100 pounds of each other, close enough. Some of my fellow farmers like to get it right down to the, you know, within 10 pounds, have at it. I'm good with 100 pounds, getting within 100 pounds. So I told her to park the cart, I'll dump on it, take the Ford home, start dumping. Like I said, I think I said earlier in the video, we're only going to do like maybe 5 truckloads. It's almost 1 o'clock now. That way I can go home and spend the couple hours that it takes. Day one sucks of corn, believe me. Getting the dryer dialed in, making sure that it's, you know, doing its own thing like it's supposed to. But yeah, day one, just, you don't just go. It's not like beans, let's put it that way. So, but the yield has been way better than I thought it would be for the year we had. Now, granted, when I did the headland going that way, when you got up towards the hill, yeah, there's some short corn that's not going to yield as good because the hills just didn't have the moisture. So, but it is what it is. I mean, and yeah, I know I need to clean my window, but that requires getting down inside the bin and opening up the one window to get to the other. Yeah, I can see. You might not be able to. Alright, Barb's out there unloading. I'm in the computer room. You can see first fill. So we're filling the dryer with corn. I just ran some samples. I had her fill a small pail for me before she started dumping that. While I was on the way back with that truck. And I got to adjust the combine when I go back because it was making it about 23.7. So it's between 23.5 and 24, not 22 like the combine was making it. But we're still going because it's, you know, we're looking at a lot of days of rain, and it's the, what, 18th or something of October, and it's not, you know, we're not going to get corn to dry down
a whole lot in the fields with the wet weather that's coming and with the late planting. I'm kind of impressed with corn that's under 25% that wants to yield 200 bushel for the year that we've had. So now I get to play, you know, the probably 2-hour game of getting the drying down what's in the dryer. Let's see, so it's 6 minutes per point roughly. So we're talking between 8 and 9 points. So I got to turn the dryer on with full heat for like 50 some minutes, a little over 50 minutes roughly. Then I got to cool it down, which will take 20 minutes or so that I can actually get inside, close them floor doors, because this year I opened them so the heat would go down into the cool part rather than run stuff out the back of the bin like we normally do into a truck. Yeah, so basically, you know, once this gets filled, which is going to take another half an hour or more, then it's going to be an hour doing that. And then I'm probably going to be at least another hour trying to get everything dialed in and whatnot. So we won't be back to the field for a while. Alright, so we're on 220 degrees, cooking it till about 3:15. I turned it on at 3:25. So that would be about 50 minutes. And Barb just took a truck out back because I could not get the dryer to kick on with them bottom floor doors open because it kept saying low airflow and it would not ignite. So I went in and closed them and it ignited. Well, of course it's lower airflow because the air is going down, but you can't turn the burner on with the fan off because that doesn't work. You have to have the fan on. So I guess we're doing it the old-fashioned way, or the way we used to. She just went, I'll show you. And I just remembered to turn my stuff on the leg back to the bean bin, but it's not going to go in the bean bin. She went up and flipped the flipper valve lever up there. Yes, she did. So that we can run it out that pipe, run it into the truck, and then when it gets down to the moisture we want, turn it off,
Back that up all by myself.
flip it back to the bin we want it to go in, dump that back into the wet bin. Yeah, I thought this would be an easier way, but no, that's the bean bin fan. Just cooling them down some for the day. But that sucks. So yeah, now we sit and wait for it to start heating up, which it is. Alright, as you can see, corn is coming out. So I not only have to pay attention over there, I have to pay attention here too. But Barb should be back out. She went to the house to throw something in the crock pot for supper tonight. So now the dryer is running for you non-farmers, continuous flow. So as it needs corn, this will kick on and fill. This is where you over dry some, under dry some. It takes a while to level it out. Okay, right now it says the wet corn is 25.5. I'm going to give it a little bit before I start taking samples, because after running it at 220 degrees for 50 minutes, there's a lot of condensation. That number actually started out at 28 point something, I don't remember. It's working its way down because it's as new corn comes in and you get rid of the condensation. As you can see, it says the corn coming out is 23%. Obviously that's why it's not going into a bin. It's going into that truck. So once we get this number verified in a little while by, doing tests, taking samples, and when that number gets down to where our target is, which is 14.9,
or when it gets down to probably 17, I'll switch it to the bin, because the stuff on the bottom will get blasted with air and dry a few points easily. And then after that number's zeroed in, we start zeroing in that number. So yeah, the first day is fun. Yeah, it's not just jump in the combine and pick corn all day. So I mean, if it was 15-16% like a lot of you guys in the Midwest are doing, then it would be, but we ain't that lucky here, unfortunately. This year's gonna be, I think, a lot of 23 to 26% corn dried if we want to actually get done before it, you know, the weather gets real shitty. So it is what it is. All right, now you can hear it. The spinner, it's going into bin 1. It's running at maximum speed, which the rate says 70 because that's the maximum for my leg, 70%, because this number has been coming down rapidly. It was just 17% literally a minute ago. So that means it's now got over-dried corn coming through. I haven't quite finished getting this set, but it looks to me like it's going to be between 25 and 26% from the few samples I've taken. Yeah, look at it going down rapidly. That's why I hate day one. You over-dry corn, you under-dry some, it'll blend. Just getting the dryer set is like an hour and a half, 2-hour project. So basically we're not shipping corn out the back anymore into that truck. So when Barb gets out here, she can pull the truck back around and dump it back into the wet bin, which that'll have 25% corn in it and 15% corn in it. But it is what it is on day one. So if you got corn that's 15-16%, you're taking it right out of the field. Yeah, you're dealing with butt shelling when it gets that dry, but you're not dealing with getting the dryer set up. I hate this day. I absolutely hate this day. Alright, we're just gonna call this a video. It's long enough. First day of corn. It sucks, but it's finally getting itself dialed in. We actually went and picked 3 more loads, but I left the GoPro laying here on the counter. So wet moisture's been bouncing between 22.5 and 23. So right now the dry is at 16.4. It's, you know, the target is 15.5, but it's telling it to slow down because, oh, there you go, 16.3, 4. It's dropping. Like I said, when you first start the first day, you over dry. We had 11% corn going through, and you get some that's not dried enough, and yeah. Overall, that field's yielding pretty good for the year we had. Now that I'm getting up on the side hill, it's not quite as good, but it's still, you know, I figured if we got 140, 150, we'd be doing well. Well, I get up on the side hill and we're getting some 160s. That's better than what I figured everything would be. So here's your one more thing. Push on the Grumpy Farmer Apparel link and get your Grumpy Farmer Apparel. Get your new tumbler / can holder or whatever. Yeah, I read a couple comments today from the last video. Old Koopy Poopy, he's still commenting about how, you know, didn't believe that I sent those truckloads of beans to Canada. They're actually coming Monday to get another load, Koopy Poopy, just so you know. So alright, we'll see you in the next one.